RogueTech, tread not.
Welcome back to RogueTech. We're going to drop down an assassination mission, but before we do, last episode I talked about the fact that I was going to try to clean up a little bit of my finances. And so I did, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what I did for those of you out there who are trying to figure out how the hell do you deal with your finances. Down in the captain's quarters, under reputation, or just above that is finances. If you click on it, you'll get this screen, and this will tell you what your monthly finances are going to be, which for me it's 2.6 million. And it's going to give you some idea about how many months you have before you end up with zero. I got quite a few because I'm up at 29 million cash at the moment. It also gives you your morale, but that's not important at the moment. It'll also give you right here how many days until the next monthly finance expense. So when does this all take effect? This is why I'm doing it. I've got 2 days before it hits. I just went through and I cut my monthly down from 2.78 to 2.66. So I cut out 120,000 a month. And in doing so, I went from 12 million to 29 million. And we'll see where I got some of that money from. But underneath here, you'll see there's a little slider bar here. This gives you your operating costs, which is where does my monthly expense come from for the things I own. So, for example, I have enough mech parts. I have 5,813 tons worth of mech parts. And it just sums up the total tonnage, and it gives you a cost per ton. And that's where this value comes into 379. And this is where I took out a lot of cash, or some of my expense was right here. The next thing you have is gear. So this is going to be your lasers, your missiles, your ammo, your armor, all that other stuff that you look at when you bring up your mech and you want to see, well, what can I put on it? That's gear. And this particular case is going to give you a count per unit of gear. And it's going to, each piece that you get rid of gives you a straight reduction. So even if you get rid of a big thing like the endo armor as opposed to some machine gun ammo, it's the same. Next is going to be your upkeep on all of the mechs that you currently have in your mech bay that are active. That's what all those are. There's some more down below that are cheaper. And then it's going to give you the cost for all of your upgrades that you've done. So there's the Junkyard Leopard. The Argo operating costs is going to be just generally the Argo where it's at. Med Bay, Repair Bay, Mech Bay. So that's where all those are coming from. And then you have your salary over here, which is each of your pilots. As they get more and more experienced, they get more and more salary. And they also have a starting salary bump depending on what it is they have as a special. Oddball is a special because it's basically a guy from Kelly's Heroes. We see him talk all the time. The rest of some of these might be Ronin. The Ronin have a number of special abilities from the beginning, and so generally what I'm doing when I'm looking for my pilots after I get my initial stable done is I look for pilots that have a lot of skills that I can leverage, a lot of extra stuff that I'm going to be able to leverage, but it doesn't mean I have to spend some money. So I'm spending about half as much on my people as I am on my overall gear. So if I look in my barracks, here, you'll see for these guys, like for example, when we look at Oddball,
it looks like we're going to find ourselves another bridge.
He's worth more money because he has special capabilities. Here are all his attributes. He's got a ton of them. Some of the standard folks, Lightfoot, only have a few. So the more attributes they have, the more expensive they will be for their monthly salary. The higher they are in their skill trees, the more money they're going to make as well. This you can't really manage. From a point of view of where I just get the guys with all the extra attributes, because these attributes are all going to give you some kind of a bonus. So I get a bonus on my called shot. I get an OP accuracy bonus. On Comstar, he's going to give me some extra mech tech. So in my opinion, the attributes are well worth the money. Get them, keep them. The only thing I would say as far as the pilots go is just keep enough pilots to do what you need to do each month with your mechs. Some people like to try to drop their mechs twice, one with one set of pilots, one with others. Me, I prefer to just do one drop per mech, or one pilot per mech, and just drop them once. It may not be the most efficient, but I prefer it that way. Then in the mech bay, you have a couple areas where you can clean up. And let's get in there. I'll talk about where we're going to clean up from in there. Come on. So every mech that you have here is going to cost you money for upkeep based on the mech's overall cost and the gear that you've installed. So the best mechs that I've got have some additional things. Like, for example, if you look at this Galzilla, you can't see it in here, but he's got a repair bonus in him that's going to cost, see, this drop cost multiplier is 1.25, but he also has some repair cost multipliers because he's got some stuff on him that's going to cost some additional money for his repairs. Final Ferris? Yeah, there it is. Tech point cost repair, C-bill cost to repair. So these things will modify how much it costs every time you bring them back and you got to do repairs. So again, here, the best thing you can do to manage this is just keep enough mechs that you need for the missions you're going to run. Don't keep an extra stable of mechs, an extra lance of mechs that never get dropped. In fact, one of the things I did do is I scrapped out a Mackie and I scrapped out a Centurion that were some of the older mechs that I was using, but I've since replaced, and they were still here in the bay. I stripped them and I scrapped them. And that's going to save me some money. The next thing you can do is you can go into storage. And this is going to be all of the mech pieces that you've picked up throughout your gameplay. You can sort these by light, medium, and heavy and assault. So depending on where you currently are in your gameplay, you might be in one of these categories. I'm currently now really mostly working in the assault category. So this is the stuff that I'm really looking at building out to replace some of the mechs that I have, rather than down here in the light category. There are a few missions where you might get capped low on your tonnage. At this point in the gameplay, you're not going to do them. Just don't worry about them. Unless that's what you want to do, is you want to play with those light ones. That's fine too. But one of the things I would suggest is when you come in here to scrap these, look for, and I've done it already here, so you're not going to see them. But let's see. Yeah, look for the mechs that are our vehicles. When you sell or scrap a unit, be it a vehicle or a mech, the value that you get from it is the same as a whole mech as in its parts. So in this particular case, I have it set at 4 parts to make a mech. If I sell 4 pieces of a mech, it'll be the same as if I assembled the mech and then sold that mech. Okay? So from a point of view of scrapping, there's no value in assembling a tank or a vehicle. If you're not going to use it, just scrap the vehicle parts as they come in. There is one advantage to assembling a unit. If you take, for example, the Marauder, and I want to try to ready that Marauder, it's going to ask me what piece do I want. I don't know if I can get out of that. Can I get out of that? No, I can't. I can spend some money. Oh, well. So, for example, I'm going to spend $78,000 if I take a piece here. So I'll take that one. Cancel. Can I cancel out? All the way out? It'd be nice. Yeah. Yep. Close. Yes. So it'll cost you money to put the pieces on there, but if you get all 4 pieces, it's free. The assembly doesn't cost you anything. And you'll see the colors here. Yellow means you have enough parts in various variants to make the mech, and green means you have enough parts to put it together on its own. So you go through here real quick, see if you see green. If you do see a green one and you don't want to keep it, go ahead and assemble it because it's free to assemble and it takes no time. Then go into the mech bay, bring it up for a refit, and strip off the gear. Generally speaking, just look for the good gear that you want to keep, strip it off, put it into your inventory, and then scrap the mech. Whether or not you pull out all the gear, if you pull out the engine, you pull out all of the fire control systems, you pull out all the weaponry, and you scrap it, it's the same as if you didn't pull all that stuff out. So definitely in this case, if you wait to get a mech to be put together and then strip it before you scrap it, you will make more money. By scrapping a bunch of these things, which I did, I just went through and I found all of the vehicles that I didn't want in the light and the medium categories, and I scrapped them, and I saved $120,000 a month, and I picked up some 17 million credits doing that. The last thing is you go into the store, and then you can go ahead and pick up where you usually buy stuff. At the bottom, you'll have this option to sell. I heard the beep. Come on. Sometimes the game is slow selling. So this will go into your inventory and give you the entire list of everything that you currently have. And even this mech is a mech that I have assembled but stored in storage. So I'm only paying its tonnage in maintenance, not its upkeep. But I can still sell it from here if I want to. I can't sell piece parts from here, but I can sell assembled mechs from here that I have in storage. And then you can come down here and just look at the stuff that you have and sell off anything that you think, that, you know, I'm never going to use that many of them. For example, if I get in here and find my medium lasers, I don't really keep medium lasers around. And in fact, I think I sold them all off already. Yeah, I did. Because I'm going to be using special lasers. I'm either going to use these like medium magmas, the ER mediums. I'm going to be using clan mediums. I'm past the point of just using a normal medium laser. And so I've sold them all off. And again, for every one I've sold off, I get a discount. So let me see if I can find something here that I might, I don't care about that, all right? I got some medium clans, so I'm going to sell these two. If I click on sell, so we have 831. This is really small, but, you know, 831. I get 60K up here. 831 is going to go down to 467. So I saved a couple $100 a month on having to just put those stuff in a box somewhere. So that's the other place that you can save your cash. So then on the finances side, if you want to reduce your total amount of finances that you're selling with, or if you're at the point where you're about to go bankrupt, you can go in, you can sell off mech pieces, you can sell off gear, you can even fire pilots. You can let them go if you don't want them. Don't overhire, don't overstack your mech bay, and don't hoard stuff in your inventory. And then your maintenance will all be in good shape. Well, that's a brief overview of the maintenance and your monthly expenses and how you can manage to reduce those, and hopefully in your game you can get a little bit better control over your finances and also stockpile a little bit more money. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.
Creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a